For centuries, men and women have stepped away from the table to fast, to pray, to seek something deeper. But what does a 40-day fast look like today? I'm Dr. Sam from Kingdom Fasting, and in this podcast, I invite you to walk with four ordinary people on an extraordinary journey.
Welcome back to day 2 of your 40-day fast. I want to encourage you. This is the first night you've woken up, no food, went to bed without food. So let's talk about that, and let's give you some encouragement, and let's give you some what's going on with your body right now. Your human growth hormone is increasing, and it is beneficial. They did a research study on people who did alternate day fasting, which basically did what you did, didn't eat, went to bed, and exercised. And they showed that people did alternate day fasting, they had naturally increased human growth hormone, and they had superior body changes in body weight, in body composition, and in lipid indicators and the risk for heart disease. So congratulations, you've done an alternate day fast right now, and it's all those benefits. It also is what I want to encourage you. It's actually good to exercise when you fast. Your human growth hormone is naturally elevated, and when that goes up, it tells your body to store muscle and burn more fat. So that's the benefit. You made it to the first night. And I want to talk about, in the Bible, there's actually a guy who fasts during the night that you may have missed that is kind of significant. And it kind of points to the fact that your fast can be more than just for you. And it's actually in Daniel in the lion's den. So Daniel gets thrown in the lion's den, and because the king gets trapped in this decree. So Daniel's stuck, and the king is upset. And so in Daniel 6:18, it says, the king went off to his palace, and he spent the night fasting. No entertainment was brought to him before him, and his sleep fled from him. So he didn't sleep. He spent the whole night fasting. Interesting. Now, Daniel obviously was fasting, and so were the lions. I was going to point that out. So everybody fasted that night. We didn't know that was going to happen. And the next day, Daniel, he's fine. He gets out of the lion's den. The king recognizes that obviously Daniel's God is the God, the superior God. He spent the whole night fasting. So your fast can actually be for more than just yourself. So now that's your first night. That's a night of fasting that somebody went through. Hopefully you weren't like the king Darius and you actually got some sleep last night. But there's absolute benefits, and there's benefits overnight for fasting for other people more than just yourself. And today, you're going to get to the 58-hour mark. Sometime today, you're going to get to that. And they found that they did a research study on people who fasted, and they found that it boosted your metabolism. It was anti-aging, antioxidant, and it actually increased your branched chain amino acids, your BCAAs. You hear a lot of bodybuilders take those. Those are actually essential for creating energy in the Krebs cycle. So those are actually boosted. It boosted your metabolism, and it boosted your mitochondria. So there's these huge benefits that you're going to start to see and get inside your body today. So how did other people do during their fast on day 2? Most people actually, you already heard that Brianne had a rough first 3 days. So we already know she was having a rough 3 days. Davey had an easy day. Chelsea, she licked some peanut butter for her fasting fuel, which, it's fine. You can have a little bit, and it's just protein and fat. So yeah, it's fine. And she gave you the list of multivitamins she took. I had some coffee with some oat milk, some Benefiber. My total calories for the entire day was 40. I had really good energy. I went to the gym because my human growth hormone was elevated, and I know that it's good for my body to work out. I lifted around the 39-hour mark of my fast. I felt really good. This will be a baseline for my strength. I did wake up with a little bit of a sour stomach, but I had that spin rift the night before at 8 p.m., so I wonder if it was because of that. I wasn't really hungry. There was some popcorn in the house that was enticing, but mind over matter. I just say I didn't need it. And after about 20 minutes, I didn't crave it anymore. I talked to a friend of mine who does long fasts, and we talked about the faster's dilemma. I came up with this because I was talking to people who do the long fast. And people who do long fast, especially those that we like to eat. And so the faster's dilemma is basically we only fast and we only feast. And that's part of the reason why I think some people who can do long fasts still struggle with weight loss is because they don't actually feed. They just feast and fast. And you can overfeast your fast. So it's interesting that sometimes the longer fasters have a struggle to lose weight long term. They can lose it really quickly, but then they can put it back on. So, and then I had some fasting related changes. My sense of smell has increased. Your body, I can smell things a little better. This is common in longer fasts. I started to get some keto breath in my mouth. I started, started to taste a little keto-y. That's really common. And I could smell the dog food, but it was not enticing like the pot were. It's not appetizing. I could just smell it better. My hands and feet started to get a little cold. Your body is actually, there's a lot of blood supply to your fat. And the reason why there's a lot of blood supply to your fat is because is that stored energy source. And as soon as you run out of your sugar energy, your stored glucose energy, you have to have immediate access to that fat energy. And so there's a lot of blood supply. Well, the places you don't have a lot of fat are your hands and your feet. And so your hands and your feet may get a little colder when you longer fast, and you can add a little salt in. Since your blood supply is getting diverted to your fat, sometimes people get a little lightheaded if they move too quickly. So it's called orthostatic hypotension. So you just gotta be a little bit careful. Like sometimes you just have to just kind of sit up, take a break, and then stand up. Okay. If you get up too fast, you might get a little lightheaded because your body is sending all of that energy to that, or all that fluid and blood is going to make sure that it has that energy resource to your fat. So your blood pressure might go down a little bit today. Your hands and feet might get a little colder. Of the four of us on this, Brienne was the only one who having a rough day. But you'll see that other people have a rough day. Tomorrow, on day 3, we're going to start talking about headaches because people usually do get headaches. About 20% of people, 15-20% of people do experience some headaches when they're fasting. Fasting actually can help with headaches. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. You're having headaches. All right, day 2 for some people is absolutely the hardest because your hormone, your ghrelin hormone that spikes around every meal, kind of has its last throws today. Some people that actually happens on day 3, but for most people it actually happens on day 2. And that 48-hour mark is usually the hardest part when you have to go to bed, being when you actually hit dinner the second day. Sometimes that ghrelin hormone is really strong and it really tries to get you to eat. But you're making that body, you're kind of running out of all of your stored sugar in your liver, stored sugar in your body, and your body's making that metabolic switch. So it tries to give you one last chance to say, hey, let's get some nutrients or get some energy from our environment. And our environment means sugar. It's easier to just eat the food than ever to go and actually go do the work and actually turn your fat into sugar. So sometimes this is the hardest day, and for you, if it's a hard day, remember, drink your fluid, stay up on your fasting fuels. I like coffee. My wife likes tea. Coffee makes it worse for her. Coffee makes it easier for me. So it will depend. And what you're going to find with certain fasting fuels, there are certain days you're going to be able to have them, and other days it's not a good fasting fuel for you that day. I'll give you an example. There's this thing called a limoncello LaCroix. Now, I like Spindrift's better now, but limoncello LaCroix is really good. Tastes really good. I cannot drink it on day 3. It makes me absolutely hungry. Later on, I can drink it. Earlier on, I can drink it. For some reason, on day 3, if I taste a lemon LaCroix, it makes me hungry. And that's how you're going to know if a fasting fuel is helping you or hurting you. If you have a little bit and it's satiating you, even though it's a little bit of food, and it's satiating you, then you're going to realize, okay, this is actually keeping me happy. But if it immediately makes you hungry, then you know it's not a fasting fuel for you. And sometimes they sneak in some artificial sweeteners and you take something really sweet. That's usually a sign that's not going to be a good fasting fuel for you. So congratulations on making it to the first night of no food and making it to day 2. And you're going to make it to day 3. I'm going to meet you there. See you there tomorrow.